Hey everybody, Ham Solo here, Kilo Zero, Foxtrot, Yankee Romeo. I am traveling for work on the way to Salt Lake City. I've just entered into Wyoming and traveling down Interstate 80. I have a few different radios with me. I've got my Anytone 578 DMR and analog mobile radio inside the vehicle. I also have my 878 portable DMR and analog radio, handheld, and I have my KG-916 GMRS radio, handheld, from Better Safe Radios with me as well. I've got my GMRS on channel 19. I think that's the one that Nana Rubicon blessed as being the do something and let's designate a real travel channel. I know previously channel 20 had been the travel channel, and some of your programming and your radios might say channel 20T or something like that. There's a lot of arguments about which one's the travel channel. I'm going to try out several things while I'm out on the road, and so let's get this started. All right, what we're looking at now is my portable 578, mobile 578 radio. I've got it on the simplex calling frequency 146.520, and I also have in my hotspot. So there's my hotspot sitting right here, DMR hotspot. I'm running through my Verizon hotspot for internet, which I have come and go on this road. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to stay in contact through a talk group with people back in Colorado, near Colorado Springs. All right, so it's been a while since I played around with DMR, other than just having the stuff already in my code plug and running my radio. What we've done is we have a talk group that we've created off of our NX0G is our club's call sign. And when you go into radio ID, we actually have a DMR ID assigned to that club call sign. And so what we did was we went into our radios and we programmed in and created a talk group as a group call off of that DMR ID, and we're able to run that. I think some of the guys that are in the club have put up a very small repeater at somebody's house that may be like 15 watts output or something like that, and it is tied to that DMR ID, and we've created a group call out of it, a channel with a group call for that ID. And we can all get on that through our either running through the repeater that they have that's close to several of the members, or like myself, creating a hotspot that ties to that DMR ID group call. And I am able to then converse with them on my hotspot wherever I'm at. So took a little while to remember how to do all that kind of programming, and finally got it in there and updated my radios, and we're going to see how that works while we're out here on the road on the way to Utah. K0FYR and the NX0G talk group. Oh, I appreciate that, Victor. Yeah, I'm, let's see, I'm between Laramie and Rawlins, Wyoming right now. Got a little bit of a signal on the internet, so I thought I'd try out the DMR.
Yeah, you're coming in real good, Mike. Sounds good. How's the roads up there? Are they dry and clear?
Yeah, it's dry and clear here on Interstate 80. The winds kicked up pretty good, though. You're about 40 or 50 mile an hour crosswinds. And I think tomorrow they're expecting over 60 plus And so they already have signs saying that they're going to close Interstate 80 to box trailers. I know it's going to be snowing on my way back, and so I'm going to try to keep it over here on this highway if I can, because I don't want to get stuck on 70 west of Denver with it closed because of the snow. So I'm going to try to stay on I-80, but all depends on, I guess, the winds over here. Pretty flat in this part right here as far as getting good gusty winds. K0FYR, I'll be clear. Well, there you go. Hotspot's still working great as long as I've got internet.
Well, I heard you in there, buddy.
Oh.
I don't know who you were talking to. I just shut the chainsaw off. You copy me, KG-916.
Yeah, Roger, Brian, I got you in there. Yeah, I'm maybe 50 miles outside of Rawlins, Wyoming. I was talking to Victor.
Okay. Well, I'm out down by the pond here by my house, down kind of low, so I heard you saying that you didn't hear him come back just after I cut off the chainsaw, so I don't know, Victor.
So these are my local ham guys, west of Colorado Springs, about 25 miles.
We did connect. I was just, looks like one transmission didn't go through. Maybe operator error, KG-916
And so, again, this is out in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, and I've got my hotspot connected through Verizon. Well, there you go. We carried on for a little bit longer after I cut off the video, but appears to be working just fine. Hotspot again on my JumboSpot, which is a Raspberry Pi Zero with a MMDVM hat on it. It's the one I've been using for DMR for quite a while, so didn't really have to do any configuration on that other than making sure it was going to connect to my Verizon hotspot here in the car while I'm on the road. Actually, that was already entered in there. I just haven't used it in a while. The biggest programming issue was creating a new group call based off of the club's call signs, DMR ID, and then just getting everything hooked up in the car while I started to travel. But you heard it's working just fine. About 140-ish miles outside of Rock Springs, Wyoming. Gonna try it again once I get into Rock Springs, and then on the way to Salt Lake City. And I guess once I cross into Utah, we'll try it again. But seems to be working perfectly fine as long as I have internet. And so, good, neat little thing to do while I'm traveling. Be able to talk to some of the local guys at home. And so, seems to be working just fine. Yep, pretty desolate. This is kind of what it looks like around Rock Springs in Wyoming. Reminds me of the Road Warrior a little bit. Look, there's Bartertown off there in the distance. And so, yeah, I'm going to try again on the hotspot in order to hit the guys back there in Colorado Springs area and give it a go. I've had the GMRS radio on and running this whole time, scanning the supposed travel-ish channels, which would be channel 19 or channel 20, given to whoever you want to talk to on the internet. And so just kind of where we're at, about 20 miles outside of Rock Springs, and fairly desolate. All right, so I'm about 25 miles west of Rock Springs, Wyoming. Got another 75 miles or so to get to the Wyoming-Utah border. I've had internet pretty much this whole time. I don't think I've really ever lost signal except right past Fort Collins in Colorado, right before I hit the Wyoming border. I lost internet for maybe a minute. And other than that, I've had pretty much had internet this entire time, which is good because this JumboSpot needs the internet in order for the DMR to work on it. And so without internet, I wouldn't be able to transmit on the JumboSpot. And so my Verizon hotspot has been keeping the internet the entire time. My phone has had internet the entire time. I'm only down to 1 bar right now. And so it's a little bit on the edge, but I can see cell towers in the distance. And so it must be just, if I get over a rise, then I pick up signal again. Now, yeah, I just came up over a rise, so I got 2 bars back. So let's see if we can make contact with the guys back in Woodland Park area, Florissant, in west of Colorado Springs. K0FYR on the Mark talk group.
Well, lucky you. Out of the wide open spaces of Wyoming. Well, we're supposed to get that on Friday, so yeah, they're predicting inches of snow through the Denver metro, down I-25, also along I-70 to the west. So Friday doesn't look like the best travel day.
All right, arrived in Salt Lake area. The last vestiges of the sun going down over there. This is the just north of the city, maybe 20-ish miles, in a place called Ogden, which is where Hill Air Force Base is. And I'm teaching a class there tomorrow. And so we'll do one last little try on the hotspot and talk to the guys back there in Colorado. And then that'll probably be it for the hotspot until I start going home in the snow in 2 days. All right, K0FYR on the Mark NX0G talk group. Guess nobody's home? All right, that's fine. I'll take in the JumboSpot and my Verizon hotspot into the hotel room, and I'll probably set it up there connected to my laptop, just to have power and everything and the laptop running. And so that's it for the trip on the way to Salt Lake City. We'll see what the return trip brings with snow and so forth. It's good having this capability so I can stay in contact, even if for some reason, I lose cell phone coverage. I understand this is internet. I understand that it's going through that. I still have regular analog radio as well with this radio, so that's a bonus in the event. But let's sign off for now. So it's now the trip back. As you can see, it snowed last night. It's snowing right now. Getting ready to head into the mountains on I-80, coming out of the Salt Lake City area going into Wyoming. This is a better route than, me going through the I-70 Vail Breckenridge area, because they're expecting over 12 inches of snow, and they usually close down I-70 due to traffic accidents. So this is the start out of the I-80 trip, heading back to Colorado. So the roads keep getting progressively worse over the next few miles. And so this is actually 84 on the way to I-80. And it just keeps getting more blowy. They're plowing only kind of like right in the middle of the road, and it's not really all of the lanes. So yeah, it's slow going. All right, while I'm following this slowbound traffic coming out of Utah, thought I'd just give you a little overview again of what I'm running here in the vehicle for safety on this trip. So I have the Anytone 578 mobile radio here. Got my Verizon hotspot here on the left. That's connected to the internet. I have internet pretty much the whole way, or should, depending on, I guess, the snow. Then I have my JumboSpot sitting right there, set up for DMR. And so my 578 is connecting to the JumboSpot to a talk group for our ham club back in Colorado. And then, so then I also have my Wouxun KG-916, and this one is set up for GMRS. This is a GMRS Part 95 radio. And so I have it on the channels for basically... Sorry about that. I have it on the channels for basically what they call the travel channels. So channel 19 or channel 20 of GMRS. Scanning through those, plus all of the front range GMRS channels just in that active scan. And really haven't heard anything this entire trip. Every once in a while I was getting some like hotel traffic talking about cleaning rooms and stuff like that. And I think there was somebody on the highway that was hitting what's called the 700 South in Denver, and it was hitting it in Utah. So I think that it was just happened to have the same frequencies, or I'm sorry, the same tones in it as the actual 700 South that's in Denver. And so other than that, really haven't heard any GMRS traffic at all. So just making the way through, should be out of this slower traffic here in just a couple miles. And then that's when I'll be hitting I-80 going east towards Laramie. I'm about 2 hours into it. Road's cleared up for a while here, at least on I-80. So they're saying that it's been snowing pretty steady over there by the QTH or the house. And, you know, maybe an inch so far, which isn't bad because I think on the road here I had 2 or 3 inches other than where they plowed. So, just talking to the guys here on the hotspot, you know, through our group chat. Let's see if anybody... Alright, I just passed the first sign for what's called the Continental Divide. Most of y'all may know that's the Rocky Mountain separation between east and west of the United States. I'll give a little brief explanation of that. All right, this area, and going down almost into Arizona, you know, through Utah and Nevada and Wyoming area, is part of what's called the Great Basin Desert. And the Great Basin Desert is based off of the California current. And so this is a cold desert. And so not a lot of moisture, cooler temperatures usually. But as you can see, there's not a whole lot of growth of anything out here. A lot of sand in the area. And this is going into, you know, all the way up into Rock Springs in Wyoming. And so the basin itself is where water gets trapped and won't go out to the ocean, and it evaporates basically in the basin. It's about 50 miles wide. There's the first sign there that we just passed for Continental Divide, and 50 miles later there'll be another sign that says Continental Divide at 7,000 feet. But that is the basin from side to side. Right in the middle of the basin. Alright, coming out of the other side of the basin, and this is headed towards the Front Range. This is the other side of the Continental Divide. And so on Interstate 80, heading into a town called Rawlins, Wyoming. And it says on the map that the road may be closed, and they're trying to divert us off to Business 80. So right now the road is dry. There's no snow. So not sure if there was some earlier wrecks or something, or why the road's closed. But gonna see that as I get up here another 5 miles and why we're being diverted. All right, it is lightly snowing again on the road in Wyoming. What they did was they diverted me onto Business 80, which run through pretty much downtown Rawlins. And the highway traffic looked like it was backed up. It was a whole big line of 18-wheelers. And then right past downtown, it divided, basically sent me back to get back onto I-80. So I guess whatever the wreck or problem or whatever was somewhere on the I-80 section of Rawlins. And so they sent me on the business road, and I stopped, got some lunch, pick up, and then now I'm going to get back on I-80 past Rollins, and should be smooth sailing into Colorado from there. All right, ran into a new storm coming out of Rollins, in between Rollins and Laramie, Wyoming. So slow going, speeds dropped down to about 40, and got just a line of semis in front of me. So making the way, got all the radios still on and active. Hopefully don't need those for any type of emergency purpose. All right, just crossed into Colorado. Haven't heard anything on the radio, but my dashboard is saying that there were a couple people talking, but I haven't heard anything. I don't think I lost internet, but if I did, why would it show up on the Pi-Star dashboard and not hear it on the radio? So I'm going to try to give them a call and see what's going on. K0FYR on the NX0G talk group for the Mark system. K0FYR.
So, welcome to the repeater. Have a great day.
Oh, it's GMRS for a change. That's weird. Yeah, I'm seeing people key up on the Pi-Star, but I'm not getting anything. That's kind of weird. Let me grab my handheld and see if that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, we weren't getting any audio on you either. That's weird. Yeah, you're solid. You're solid on the portable radio there. Go ahead, KG-916. Where you at?
Yeah, that's really weird. I'm on 287, about 15 miles outside of Fort Collins. Just crossed into Colorado. Yeah, for some reason, you're not coming across my mobile anymore. And so when I key up on the mobile, I'm not hearing anything, and I'm not sure if I was transmitting out. But I can see y'all talking on the Pi-Star dashboard, but nothing's happening with the mobile, and I didn't change any settings.
Yeah, that is weird. It's bi-directional, because when you key up, I can see your DMR ID come across, and no audio. When you were on the other radio, you're solid on this radio. Maybe it needs a reboot or something. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Anytones. But it's doing it both ways, apparently. You're not hearing audio. It's not unmuting your receiver, and it's not unmuting my receiver when you transmit either. Back to you, KG-0C. At least you're making pretty good progress. Hopefully the weather's okay.
Yeah, there's been intermittent snow here and there, all the way down I-80 until I turned off. There's little flurries right now over here towards the Fort Collins area, but yeah, I'm moving along. It doesn't look like my time to get back to the house has changed any. It's still around 5-ish o'clock, but yeah, right now the only thing that's coming across is on the handheld, nothing on the mobile. So I'm going to turn the mobile off and turn it back on, see if that makes any difference. K0FYR.
Okay, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. I had a similar problem with a CS800. It would sometimes not unmute, but the transmit audio worked. But in this case, it's not. We're not getting any audio on you. It's just silent as can be. Then you might hit a couple of bad spots. Well, I think you said you did lose internet and lose the cell phone network through that canyon on 287 there. So we'll see. It's kind of the sun's trying to poke through. It's starting to cloud up again here, but the snow has been stopped for several hours now. We only have maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches, maybe at most. But since the sun came out, it melted a little bit of that off. But the clouds are moving back in. K0FYR, KG-0CO.
All right, this is now the mobile radio, and I started catching your audio once I turned it back on and switched back over to the talk group. So I guess it just needed to be rebooted. It's kind of weird, but yeah, thanks for the weather update. I'm proceeding probably 10 miles from Fort Collins, and then should be on 25 by then. And it's like I said, it's just You know, basically a little bit of snow here and there, but it looks like it's getting thicker up ahead. All right, so what seemed to happen was when I stopped in Rollins and was telling you that I got something to eat, I had, you know, got some gas and had turned the car off but left the radio on and the hotspot and the JumboSpot. And when I got back in the car and turned it on, I keyed up and I saw it on the Pi-Star dashboard that I keyed up. But apparently that shock, I'm not going to call it a shock, but that turning on the ignition might have been enough to confuse the microprocessor in the radio so that it would not actually physically transmit or receive. You could see it on the dashboard, you could see it, but I heard nothing all the way the rest through Wyoming into the beginning of Colorado, and could see other people popping up on the Pi-Star dashboard network, but could not hear anything. And I keyed up and they told me they didn't hear anything. So I turned on the HT, and then I was getting audio from those people in our ham radio club. And so one of the guys, Brian, was a engineer, radio engineer before, and so he suggested, well, go ahead and turn it off and turn it back on and see if that, you know, convinces the radio to reset or redo whatever the issue is with the microprocessor. And sure enough, I turned the radio off, turned it back on, and then it worked just fine. And was able to continue talking to him back on the mobile again, the 578, and turn my 878 off because it started working again. So point to self, if I do stop for any reason, it's just easier or whatever to turn the radio off, and then once I start the car again, then turn the radio back on, just so I don't do anything to damage the radio, and at least it wasn't permanent. So you know, I've never had that problem before. Have left the radio on before, but I wasn't always on digital channels, and so that's good to know. So I'm gonna make sure that I turn the radio off and then turn it back on if I stop the car and start the car. So point to self. All right, haven't seen any snow since the border of Wyoming and Colorado. I'm now on the toll road going around the outside of Denver, and I'm finally getting GMRS traffic again. So no GMRS traffic pretty much the entire time through Wyoming and in Utah. But now that I got into the Denver area, I'm getting traffic both on channel 20, which is supposedly one of the travel channels, and on the Front Range repeater systems for GMRS. So I don't know, not a good showing for GMRS as far as traveling. Didn't hear anybody at all traveling. But now, you know, Denver's a big city. There's a lot of population. I'm getting more GMRS traffic now. So a little sad that it was that way during the entire trip.
Did you get around Denver yet? It's starting to lightly snow here now. We're pretty well socked in and just getting light snow. No big deal yet. But I just want to know how you're progressing there. Back to you, KG-916.
Yes, sir. I am past the airport on 470, maybe probably 10 miles from getting back on 25 south below Denver.
Okay. So you might be a little bit delayed from your 5 o'clock estimated time of arrival, I guess. But yeah, it's just lightly snowing here. You still have good weather up there? Are you getting any snow or anything like that? How are the roads doing? Back to you, KG-916.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been any snow since Fort Collins. And so right now the roads are dry. There's nothing on the grass. over here on 470. And I mean, a lot of clouds in the distance, or it's overcast, but a lot of cloud cover in the distance, and it looks like probably snow or precipitation over at the mountain range. All right, so I'm roughly about 10 miles from Colorado Springs, and starting to get a little bit of drizzle. Temperature says 28 degrees. It had warmed up a little bit in Denver. It was almost 36, and now it's down to 28 degrees as I'm coming into Colorado Springs. Still got to go up the hill towards the house. Got to rise another 3,000 elevation, and I'm sure I can see snow kind of surrounding Pikes Peak area. So I imagine there's snow on the way up the pass. This is GMRS. I'm getting now. I'm actually receiving on my handheld the 650 repeater from Colorado Springs. I'm still they're probably 15 miles from where I last did my last test, and so pretty interesting that I'm able to receive that 650 repeater way over here in Monument area, and I don't think I could probably hit it, but it sounds like it's connected to that Midwest talk group. And so the people that are talking are going to be from like Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, you know, those kind of things. And so pretty interesting that the HT is picking it up this far out. But right now, maybe when I get on 24, I'll probably stop and grab some gas. But once I get on State Highway 24 going back towards my house, I'll probably do one last shout out to the group guys and let them know that you know, I'm within 20 miles of home, and appreciate that they monitored the entire time, because that could have been really interesting with all that snow. Now I'm seeing snow out on the road. It's actually really dark. I know the camera doesn't show that. It shows it light, but it's like actually dark. So that's I don't know if that's something special with the camera picking up a lot of light or whatever. So let me pause for a second, go get some gas, and then start heading up the hill.
Here, it's just really fine stuff. But yeah, keep an ear out. There's all kinds of traffic on the public safety channel, you know, on the different talk groups for the state patrol and everybody else. So Florissant Canyon was down to one lane because of an accident in there, and I don't know, I can't keep up. There's so many different things going on, so it's a little bit slippery out there for sure, but the snow here is steady, just very, very fine at this time.
Yeah, Roger, I think they're accounting for it in the mapping app, because I got 24 miles to the house and it's saying it's going to take an hour, so I'm assuming that they know the roads are bad. So yeah, I'll keep monitoring, got the radios on, and hopefully don't run into anything bad, but I appreciate y'all monitoring while I was out.
Yeah, I wish we could do something about the road, but hopefully the plows have come through. That was what Steve was saying, is that they needed a plow out there. He was by the Tranquil Acres turn off the Monster, whatever that place is called now, just before you get into Divide, and I guess it was really slippery there.
So all of these people trying to come up the hill are all sliding because they're in regular cars, and so everybody's pulling off to the side, which it keeps snowing more and isn't helping, because then the other cars are sliding, like that one right in front of me, because they're having to stop because all of these other cars that aren't four-wheel drive cars are getting stuck. All right, so I finally got home. I know, you know, was saying was going to broadcast. I think, you know, with the snow and all the wrecks on the road, or the people sliding around, I wasn't really able to record my last conversations, you know, as I got to my my house. And so this is kind of the end of the video. And I guess as a wrap up, I can say GMRS, hit or miss. You know, obviously near the larger towns, I was able to pick up the GMRS repeaters that I have programmed in there. On the road, the travel channels, either channel 19 or channel 20, just didn't hear any traffic for the most part the whole way. And so I think that's more, maybe somewhere that maybe just has more GMRS traffic. I'm not sure. As far as the hotspot, worked entire way. Had one little dropout, due to cellular connection. And then I had that one little, mishap where I started the car, the radio was already on. It messed up the microprocessor enough that it didn't want to transmit or receive. And so just resetting the radio was able to fix that. And so other than that, I think it was a good travel test, to check what would work, what wouldn't work. Never heard really anybody on the simplex calling frequency. Kept that on one of the channels the entire time. And I think maybe one static break, and that was probably it, but no real conversation or anything. So, having the radios available, especially DMR when you have a cellular network, or D-Star or Yaesu System Fusion, whichever one you want to use. I mean, it seems like a plus, but if you get in the more remote areas, you're going to be hard-pressed. And because there isn't, it doesn't seem like there's that many people talking, maybe nobody's listening. So that's just one of those things that you'll have to try. But other than that, sorry that it was so long, and I wanted to get all the conversations in there and then show you the issues with the weather changes and how I was trying to keep in contact. So until next time, this is Ham Solo K0FYR 73.